long time. Oh no. Why do I feel like things are bad?
Things aren't
Oh god.
terrible, but I've lost all my other XLR cables, so I'm stuck on the left channel for right now, or the right channel.
Okay.
I'm stuck on one of the channels. I'll go get a new XLR cable after this. Okay, well, we're off to a great start. I lost all of them
Solid
in the
start.
move, so I'm gonna blame moving for that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
It's a solid argument.
yeah. And if my mic wasn't dumb, it'd be fine.
Uh-huh.
But we're actually here because we're gonna talk about Lost in Space. Oh, Valanda. Oh, Valanda.
Oh, why did we come back to this? Because we thought we're suckers for punishment, and also we don't remember how to do this podcast. So please bear with us a little bit as we get
Yeah,
back
no,
into
this is
the groove.
this is. You'd think we would remember how to do this because we did it for a while, and we also
Yes, we did.
both do podcasts in general. But apparently, this one just eludes us constantly.
It doesn't matter because this is chill as all hell. It's super cool and it's super fine. It doesn't matter that we bumble around like idiots for a while. Everyone knows how we are. This is our relaxing time that you're allowed to come join us. But we
Exactly.
decided I say relaxing time. We did just watch episode 1 of season 2 of Lost in Space, which season 1 wasn't good.
Not
Let's
really.
let's put it like that. But wow. So Drew, what's your opening thoughts
All right.
on season 2 episode 1 of Lost in Space?
My opening thoughts on it are I didn't hate it, but I also kind of hated it. Like,
Okay.
it was dumb.
Yes.
And I'm going to.
Yes.
I have a very specific reason why it was dumb. And I hope it's the same
Uh-huh.
reason you have why it was dumb. But it's there. And
Uh-huh.
I hope I'm not the only one who feels this way. Uh, what about you?
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I there were so many moments in this episode that made me go, "Oh, that's gonna be a thing later," and it was a thing the next scene. Um, I hated it, but I don't know if it's residual hate from season 1. I tried to give it a fair chance, but I don't think I can. I think in this I cannot be objective. I fucking hated it. There was nothing in this that I really thought was good or outstanding. I mean, I may just be remembering Lost in Space 1 with a bit of fondness now, thinking that maybe they had some things in some episodes. There was nothing here for me. I hated it.
But, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. There was some
Mm-hmm.
stuff in here. I was like, all right, this is a little bit better than season one. Like, they feel like they kind of found their footing. But then there's a lot of stuff in it where I'm like, stop it. Just, this isn't
Yeah.
good. Please don't do that.
No, it was
But, you
it
know what?
was rough.
Let's, let's tell people who haven't watched it some things about it.
Um, all I can say is thank God for the recap. Actually, I want to cover the recap, even though technically it's not part of season 2. I want to cover the recap for a very solid reason. I had forgotten almost all the plot of season 1 because I really hated it. And I think that their recap did a better job of telling season 1 than the entirety of season 1.
I have to kind of agree. I liked the recap. Okay, I understand recapping is I'm not gonna say an art, but it's you pick all the highlights of something and make it into its own thing.
Yeah.
However, the recap for season one was the entirety of season one. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mean time wise. I just mean like that's all that happened in season one.
Yeah.
Eh,
Like, they managed to reduce it down to like a 3-minute promo. Like, that. I don't. That was literally it.
That's all
And
you had.
I was watching it with my partner, and they've never seen season 1, and they watched the promo, and they were like, they had the same problem we did with the goddamn robot, which was, he makes friends with the robot, shoves the robot off of a cliff. The robot comes back to save his life when he shoves it out of an airlock to save his life. Why would this robot do this? This is dumb.
Because the robot loves unconditionally. Because
Yeah,
it's a
sure.
Jesus allegory, don't you know?
Of course, of course.
'Cause
He'll always
everything
be there
is.
when you need him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jeez, yeah. So
Oof.
Episode 1, season 2 is the opening scene, if I remember rightly, is the crew of the big spaceship where all the other colonists are, going, holy shit, what happened to the Robinsons? And then, holy shit, we got
We
a
got
hole
robots.
in our hull by robots. Yeah.
We got robots. Yeah, you know what? I do want to say something about that, and that is the robots were going away from that ship, and that ship wasn't even around.
No.
Like, it wasn't in the background or anything. But then they smashed through the side of it, and I'm like, that's not how gravity works in space.
No.
However,
no.
you know, fine. Artistic license.
Weren't they jettisoned towards the sun?
They were towards the planet.
Okay.
But the
Okay,
sun
then
was
I
very
could think of
close to
this
the
finally.
planet because the sun in the first season, occasionally the planet got really, really close and set on fire and killed everything.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, you remember that? So they
The
were,
sun like wanders or
yeah,
something.
and then also there was a black hole
referencing.
because you
Of
just
course.
can't have one thing. You gotta have like a 9.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were running out of cliffhangers at the end of the episode. So they were like, black hole.
Like, we need one more thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the robots smash through the side of the ship, and then it cuts away, and it cuts to the Robinsons 7 months later. And I just want to say, I still don't like the kid who plays Will. I don't like his face, and that's really just a personal thing. But I do have to say that I just don't like his face, like, at all.
Well, that's definitely personal preference. Oh boy, I'm glad they did jumping forward 7 months.
Yeah, because honestly,
then we don't have to do the whole "I've just landed on a planet, setting myself up" bollocks.
You mean
again.
we'd have to see all of season 1 again, just without a robot
Yeah.
this time?
Yeah, exactly.
No, they jumped forward, and honestly, the jump's not bad. They're on a planet, and they have a little greenhouse that has some plants in it, and they have to wear their spacesuits going outside this time because they don't just get to live on, fantasy island planet where they can run around without their suits on.
No, they live in a place where the air is toxic and or poisonous and or acidic. I don't really know.
Is,
and the sea is also pretty shit.
the air is super cold methane.
Aha! There we go.
So
I was laughing too hard at one point that I didn't actually catch what was wrong with
or super
outside.
hot methane. I will say I'm not 100% sure because it does burn people. So it's either very cold or very hot. And I'm not sure which. So I guess that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, they wake up and they decide to go check through the plants, which is a nice way of walking us through the changes that they've gone through. And the kids, Will seems to be growing up a little bit, I guess. He's trying to be useful, unlike season 1. He's still not useful, by the way.
He
but
was
tries.
so worthless in season 1, though. Like, he's a
Yeah,
little bit better
yeah.
this time.
I have comments on that too.
I say little. I said little. He's a
That's
little
a
bit better.
minor increase. So they meander outside through the thing, and they have to put on their thing, and they explain why they have to. And as a side note, as they walk outside, there's a beautiful black beach and some rocks, and there's a sea, and it looks beautiful, and was actually filmed in Iceland.
Nice.
Yeah, I've actually been to that beach.
I do want to say they landed on a sandbar, and there's beach on both sides. And why would you land there? If you could find a bigger spot of land, that might have been better.
Yes, absolutely. Like, this is not the optimum place to have landed your ship, but they may not have chosen to land.
That's true. They don't.
there.
I mean, we don't see how they land. They could have landed in an emergency situation, which is okay,
But they have these, like, they're walking along the beach, and father and son are doing the father-son bonding thing, and they find, like, some blue seaweed that glows.
Yeah, it's like bioluminescent moss, they say.
Yeah. Basically, if you remove the glass from the front of the robot's face, that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's just that on the ground, and they pick it up, and Will's like, or his dad's like, think this is gonna work? And Will's like, yeah, it's totally gonna work.
And I was like, that looks like the robot face thing. That's going to be a plot point later.
Oh, definitely, right?
And that was the first of the many foreshadowings I had in this goddamn
But here's
episode.
the thing. We're going to talk about that. So then we cut to the mom. Maureen is doing science stuff, and I literally don't have a better word for it because she's just idly staring at various meters and readouts. and then occasionally looks at the robot engine and is like, "Wake up." And
Yeah.
that's her entire scene here. I don't.
It is utterly pointless. They're gonna cut that scene and gone straight to the next.
I mean,
bit.
I get it because you gotta like reintroduce all the characters. You gotta like get them back all together.
Yeah.
But it was just such a weird, like, not a weird scene, but it was like you could have had her doing something else. Although, from a writing standpoint, that scene's not too terrible because it introduces Maureen and the robot engine. Although the robot engine was not in the recap, and I had forgotten entirely about it, and I was like, robot egg.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what I thought. Like,
they later said engine. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an engine.
I had no recollection at all, and my partner was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "I honestly don't know. They may have just picked it up. This may be a new thing, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a plot point. So sooner or later."
Sooner, yeah.
Jeez.
And I remember now. It was the robot engine that actually shot them through space.
Yes, and led them to this danger blaze.
Yes. So then the mom gets a buzz and runs out of the room and goes and finds Penny and oh my god, what's her Judy?
Judy, yeah.
And,
I didn't remember her name until they actually said it.
Yeah, I could not. These people are very forgettable, unfortunately. Yep. But runs out of the room and finds them, and Will and the dad are locked in like the main communal area with a sign that says "Do not enter." And then when the door opens, they've made a Christmas tree out of the bioluminescent moss they found that they just have hanging in their house now.
Yeah.
Alien moss just hanging outside where they're breathing air.
Like, this has evolved to live in this high, cold, hot,
methane planet.
Maybe methane planet. You don't want that there because what it's gonna put out into the world is gonna probably kill them. But I guess they have decided to take that risk because clearly it's supposed to be Christmas.
They ran some science things and figured out it won't kill them.
Yep.
Which also, the Christmas thing I get, like, it's a very common space thing of people be like celebrating Christmas, but I'm like, how do you know it's Christmas? Like, you guys have been, and not in like a, like, if everything had gone to plan and they landed on Alpha Centauri and there was no problems, sure, you probably would have a really nice calendar, you know what year it was back on Earth. Things went to shit. If this were me, I'd literally have no fucking clue what day of the week it was. Well, I was on a planet that almost killed me, and then I went through space and I almost died a bunch. Like, I don't know what fucking day it is.
And do they base it on how long the cycle of the planet is for an amount of days, or do they base it on the amount of, like, that's very difficult. I guess that's a future space problem for all of humanity to work out when Christmas is.
Also, they jumped through time. They jumped not through time, but they jumped through like wormholes more than once, which means that you don't know what time it is back on Earth. You don't have an established clock.
No, and of course, like, the further away you get from a thing, like, time distortions and
exactly,
science.
that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the whole mess.
Like,
whatever.
If they had brought that up, this would be an even better scientific show. But it's not.
I mean,
if they just gone, we don't know when it is on Earth, but we're going to give it a shot because of time dilations. We decided this is Christmas. I would accept that. There'll be more science in this show than it has had in a long time.
Yeah, that's fair. I think part of our issue is we're expecting science from this show, and it's just clearly not.
It's just fi.
It's very fi in space with some vague science setting. So everyone has gifts. Like, for Will's gift, he gets the key to the chariot because it's time he learns how to drive. And then he's very excited, and he gives his gift to Penny, which is he published her diary. So I'm not really sure that's a gift.
No,
I don't really think my personal thoughts should be published.
No. Also, what was it? And I've called it Lost in Space.
Oh yeah, that's
a good title. And I was like, no, it's not.
I rolled my eyes at that so hard because the thing of, like, when people say the title of whatever in the title, I'm like, oh no. But he sits there, and we have a scene of him reading it. And then, well, we don't know what anyone else gave anyone because we immediately get interrupted by Dr. Smith, who's still alive for reasons that I could not tell you, and I'm so annoyed.
I couldn't. Well, to be fair, if they had captured her alive, it would be very bad parenting for the parents to go, let's kill her.
Yeah, but here's the thought about that. Oh, also, Don is here as well. He's still alive, and he still has the chicken.
I was so happy.
That's very important for you to know that he still has Debbie the chicken and literally carries it around with him like a small dog.
Yes, like a chihuahua in a handbag.
Yeah, he just always has
yeah,
it.
It's the only thing that made me happy in this entire goddamn episode to see the fucking chicken. Man.
But Dr. Smith is alive, and my problem with this is 98% of the time, Dr. Smith brings nothing to the table. Like, they know she's a liar and a sociopath and all that. She caused all these problems. She doesn't really bring anything to the table, but they're like, we'll just keep her prisoner forever. I'm like, you're wasting everyone's resources and time.
Yeah.
Just be like, bye. And I realize that's cold, but, like, you don't need her. She doesn't bring anything to the table. But then, I know if I said that to somebody, but they'd be like, no, but she does because she solves all these problems they can't. I'm like, 90% of the problems she solves, they would solve if they weren't so far up their own butts that they couldn't think straight. Like, none of the problems are that difficult. They're just all also, stupid.
She caused some of those problems.
Oh, yeah, she also causes a bunch of them.
Like, she manipulates the problem so that she can save them for whatever twisted scheme is going to be at the end of this goddamn...
It's all very plot problematic, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
It's not the worst. I've seen things that have, like, the same, like, plot reliance, but the show is so heavy on it that everything that's said in the first, 15 minutes, well, that's going to come back in the last 15 minutes. Like,
yeah, it uses it so much as a crutch for its storytelling purposes. It's like, oh boy, right, let's see what Smith is doing, and then at the end she'll probably have caused it, or she has a manipulation on it, or it's just pay attention. Like, I have so many foreshadowing notes here. It's like, jeez.
Oh yeah. So then
I do have to say I did like Christmas. It did look good. It gave that, okay, they're trying. You can see the parents are communicating. Their relationship healed. I'm very happy by that.
Yeah.
You don't actually often see that being carried over. They still have tensions, but no, they're communicating now, and it's pretty. But I did want to point out that Penny, the one who wrote the thing, Penny, she looks different from the rest of her family, like a sore thumb. She stands out like there is no tomorrow. Everybody else is wearing that blue thing that they wear, and she's wearing like orange with brace things. And I'm like, oh, so when she feels like she's not an outsider anymore and she belongs to the family, she'll start wearing dark blue again.
Oh yes,
I'm saying it now.
Because this show is an exercise in beating you across the head with thoughts.
Yes.
So then we cut to Will learning to drive the chariot, and his dad's talking him through it. And it's kind of a nice scene because it's the scene that people have seen in plenty of things of coming of age, where the dad's like, "Oh, just do it this way. It's fine. Just like, trust yourself. It's great." And then we see Penny walking alongside the chariot because Will's actually going
no miles now.
Yeah, about as fast as somebody could walk.
Walking. Yeah.
And
that was some pro parenting though, because he turned the LED screens off, which is actually a brilliant move when you're trying to learn how to drive. Don't worry about all the flashing bullshit. Just learn how to operate the machine. I was like, that's a nice touch. That was good. There was a nice little bonding. Like, they do the father-son thing pretty well for the most part in the show.
They really do. And that one was it's quite good. It's quite good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
We'll give approval on that one. And I was instantly, that's going to be a bullet point.
Oh yes, like that's like, yep, here we are.
Yep.
Let's see, and then we see Penny and Judy and Dawn setting up a bunch of solar panels, which are like, which I do like because they are like solar panels on sheets that can be folded up, which is, yes, like that would be something if you were gonna launch somebody into space to land on another planet. That's probably what you would give them, some sort of like portable like photo cell. Can't think of words right now. It's early in the morning.
It is very early in the morning.
Which is cool. And they're talking about, Dawn's like, be careful because it's all we have and it's barely giving us enough power to power up our suits and our oxygen recyclers. So basically, they're
That was
barely keeping alive.
yeah. That was actually a good piece of writing where we learned that they are screwed without them saying we're screwed.
Exactly.
They showed and didn't tell, and I was like,
And
maybe
then-
this show's gonna get better. And then I was wrong.
And then Judy's like, well, how much could we use them to store up enough power to launch the ship? And Don's like, well, ask your mom.
Ask your
which really
mom.
just means, I have no idea, no.
Yes.
Um,
I like Don because he cuts to the chase on a lot of things.
he really does. But then we cut to the last pre-15-minute scene, which is Will walks up to his mother in a tent on the beach, and she's doing, again, vague science. Very vague science. And she's like, she asks him how his driving went. He's like, it's fine. And then she's like, the show's about to start. And then we find out every
23 days?
Yeah, 23 days, there's a massive lightning storm out in the ocean.
In exactly the same place.
Yes. And it's like, oh my god, that's great. And then we cut away. And then there was this moment of, all right, so here's the turning point, the pivot of the episode, where now what they have taken as foreshadowing, they're just going to throw back at you really rapidly.
Yeah, the entire episode felt like it was just a build to the very final bit, and it was I hated it. I hated every moment of this.
We also found out
props. Yeah, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, we found out Dr. Smith is plotting something, obviously.
Of course. Obviously. Because she goes to the bathroom. Is that right?
Gets a shiv.
Yeah, she
Now,
gets a shiv.
I mean, we kind of I've jumped around a little bit, but she gets a shiv out of the bathroom. She hides something under a blanket when Penny comes to let her out, because Penny's job is watching the evil doctor. You know, this young girl who can barely fend for herself. She's gonna watch the psychopathic evil doctor.
Yeah.
Not
that's
an adult who knows any sort of fighting techniques, like, you know, the dad who was in the military, the dad who would know how to break her arm or whatever. She tries some shit. No, the daughter. Real smart, guys.
Because they're clearly setting up the she's gonna hit her mom. She's gonna like begin to side with Dr. Smith, and then there'll be a big thing where she gets betrayed, or she realizes that she doesn't want her family to leave, and then she'll don the blue and become part of the family again.
Yes. So after the scene with the lightning storm, we cut to a little party at night, and they're all eating dinner. It's all so great, and the mom's like, we did miss at some point the greenhouse gets ripped open and they have to patch it.
Yeah.
And that's when we start noticing there's patches all over the walls where things have been thrown through it, because it's just this thin material that a rock can fly through if the winds pick up.
Yeah. I did have a comment on that. It's like, I think the door is supposed to be pressurized, the one that leads outside, because it has that beautiful hissing sound and all this good shit, and I'm like, that's really thin plastic. That would just crumble. That wouldn't take the repeated strain of going through.
Well, it's future tech, Valanda.
Okay. I'm sorry, future tech. I'm sorry.
Future tech. You're not counting
future magic.
Yeah, you're not counting for the future magic. Although I do have a question, and that is, the greenhouse has this big spine that holds it up. It's got a big spine and rope.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did they get this giant metal arch from? Because it's definitely something you would have seen on the ship, or has a very specific storage space on the ship, because the greenhouse is very big. It's
and did
double
they,
the size.
Strip this ship down to have virtually nothing on it, so
Yeah.
they could fly out on the limited fuel?
Because they didn't
Where
have
did
enough
they get all
fuel.
this extra shit from?
And this one, they're just like, well, we got all this stuff. And the greenhouse is roughly the size of the Jupiter itself. So that big metal spine had to come from somewhere.
I can only think maybe it's those little stupid things they ping out the sides.
I'm going to say no, because they use those later.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Later.
That's the only reason I remember about it, because I used it later. I'm like, oh shit.
Anyway, whatever. You know, it's hand wave stuff. It's just hand waving. Okay.
Sure,
fine.
sure.
Hand waving.
Sure, they have this.
Whew, all right. So yeah, then we see the scene and the mom's like, I have a plan. And the dad's like, no, that's fucking stupid. Like, your plan's dumb and dangerous.
I really appreciated that scene between the two of them because it really showed that their relationship had healed a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they're having a conversation. They're not like planning or plotting against each other. She presents the things and he's like, this is dumb. And she's like, yeah, but our children. And he's like, yeah, but let's actually have our children alive.
Yeah, because like, this is real
dead.
dumb.
She's like, but quality of life. And he's like, but dead. Quality of life, love. No, but dead.
But dead.
So
dead forever.
He wins because, you know, you don't actually want your children to be dead. And I was like, oh, okay. And at this point, I had the biggest foreshadowing written font that I have in here, which was just huge. And it just says foreshadowing. And fuck me, if literally the next scene isn't going, all right, the mum's crazy plan has to be the one we take now. I'm like,
I know, right? Because
like either she's just gonna do it or circumstances are gonna change to force them to do it. I'm like, no, I'll give them like a cup. No, it was literally the next.
It's
scene.
literally the next scene. They don't even wait because the dad wakes up in the middle of the night to the breach alarm, and that means the greenhouse is breached, and he runs out there, and there's this huge gash in like the side of the material, and he's trying to patch it, and he's burning his hands, and you know, methane's flooding in, and everyone like runs out there like, you're an idiot, you don't have a suit on, dumbass.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh no, Dad, come back in, and then like Don, the only sane person on this cruise that's happening right now,
especially because in this show that suit is so easy to put on. Hello, Sophie. Yes, hi.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi.
Hello. Adorable.
That suit is so easy to put on. It's just like a chest piece and a helmet.
Yeah, it's so easy. And what really annoyed me is that Don goes to get the dad back, and then the dad's hands are covered in crap because, he's, been exposed. He doesn't go back into the greenhouse to try and save what he can. No, he just hangs around waiting like, well, go back in there, you idiot.
And then the next scene, all the plants are dead. And then they're like, and then the dad's like, well, I guess we have to do your crazy, dangerous plan. So tell him the plan. And fuck me if this fucking plan is not... It pissed me off so much. Like, I was like, okay, I'm trying to be a little more accepting of the writing. Like, all right, they did this, they did that, whatever. But this plan pissed me off. And I'll tell you why. Her plan is to turn the Jupiter into a sailboat. Okay, that's fine. Except for in season 1, the Jupiter literally sank in some water.
Yeah.
So, why does suddenly the Jupiter fucking
float?
God,
I'd forgotten that. I completely forgotten that. Yeah, I hated it because it's not exactly a good shape because of all the ups and the downs and all the crowds. It's not a ship. It's not a sailboat. It's a spaceship. And spaceships aren't actually... Yeah, no, this is just a very bad plan. And their plan basically is to use the lightning strikes to recharge their batteries.
Yep.
And my partner is an electrician, and he got super mad at that plan. So mad I had to pause to let him get mad. Yeah, because his response was, this is dumb. There is no even theoretical material that could harness the power or even take a direct lightning hit without being destroyed. Let alone batteries that could take this untamed voltage to charge and like store as energy. Like,
future tech.
This just wouldn't happen.
Future magic.
He was like, it could just be space batteries. I'm like, it can't be space batteries. They don't.
Did he say space batteries don't exist because?
No. We were just like space batteries, and we just like, I can't even be bothered continuing this discussion.
No, that's fair. Okay.
Let's just hit go on the episode again.
My notes for this thing are: if they make this heavy spaceship into a boat, I'm gonna yeet myself out the window. I'm yeeting myself out the window because they turned this spaceship into a boat when in season 1 it fucking sank.
Oh man, yeah.
But now in season 2 it can float. And you know what? I was like, if they say something, because they're on a planet with like methane for air, so if they're like, well, the seas are so dense that it'll keep the ship up or something, I'd be like, okay, fine.
They give even a singular nod to the scientific community,
something, and they're just like, it'll just work. And I'm like, it's fine, but you could have taken one line in this show that was worthless out and replaced it with, but yeah, didn't we sink in water last time because we're very heavy? Yeah, but the seas here are really dense, so it's fine.
Yeah, like that would take, because that's science, yo.
Because it would have just like, because then I would have been like, okay, fine, all right, fine. You accounted for this thing. But anyway, they're looking at a map the mom's drawn, and she's like, we have to do it now because there's this archipelago over here, and there's a bunch of jagged rocks over there. We just have to not run into it. And they're like, well, what happens when you run into it? Well, we'll sink. Well, then it'll be fine because we'll get past it before the winds change or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, because that's gonna happen. They're definitely gonna end up in those fucking jagged rocks there in a minute.
Of course they are. Yeah, like 100%.
God.
So they set up these sails.
Oh
and,
wait, no,
like,
I have to comment on this. Sorry, this is at the end of that scene. The dad says there are 2 lines in this episode that are so fucking Hallmark commercial that like I died on the inside. And this is the first one. The first one is, we've been a family for a long time, but now we have to be a crew again. And I was like, I'm gonna die on this couch from that line.
And poor Don, like in this shot, has like the mum holding the 3 kids and pulling Penny in because Penny feels like an outsider and marked by the orange versus the blue, and she pulls her back in, and Dad's standing alone, like addressing his crew, and the family are stuck together as a family and a crew, and then there's poor Don sitting on the side on his own, like,
which,
what the fuck are you?
I feel doubly bad for Penny, and I say that because Penny feels like she's like, well, I'm not smart like either Judy or Will, but it's like, is Will smart? He failed a fucking test. He doesn't belong here.
Yeah, like she actually earned her place here.
Yeah, like, Penny, you're better than Will. Will should be dying on Earth.
And I have to say, like, we didn't mention it at the time, but when they read the opening of a book, I'm like, that's an okay book.
Yeah,
it's not shite. Whoever wrote that should be writing the season.
Yes, please come over here and write the actual dialogue and stuff. Oh my god. So yeah, so
anyway, they go out on top of the boat. I do want to say I want to props to whoever's doing the photography, because everything inside the ship is warm.
Mm-hmm.
It's bright. It feels safe, even though they're carrying around like the little lanterns and stuff. Like, they are lighting their path, and it's warm, and it gives you that. Yeah, this is their home, which is what the dad harks you later. Anything outside the ship has that blue tint of cold isolation, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. I appreciate that.
It's a
appreciate
good
that.
touch. We find out Penny feels upset later. Like they turn the ship into a ship. And at one point, Penny comes back inside and is looking at Judy, and Judy's like, "Oh, this book is really good. I think Dad read it in all one sitting." And then she looks over and sees her mom's copy, and it hasn't been touched. And Penny feels so bad because her mom didn't read her diary. And I'm like, this is weird, because normally people were mad when people read their diary.
Yeah, I also kind of think that maybe the mom read the same book as the dad, since they, sleep together.
No, that's impossible. She didn't touch her personal copy. I will say that the ship with the sails looks really cool.
It did look rad. It looked very different.
Yeah, it looked very different. So I'm giving them that. I just wish they had said something about the density of the water, or something. I don't know. It would have just
anything, man.
But Penny, we find out, can't deal with the ocean. She gets very seasick. And
I feel her pain.
Then Dr. Smith is like, put an earplug in one ear. It's magic. Because the how rapidly that solves her problem, and then she's never affected again. I'm like, I'm sure it helps, but this is too much.
Now I live since we last recorded. We have both moved, actually. I have moved over to Iceland, and not only living on Iceland, living on a tiny island off of Iceland, in which getting on and off the island is a ferry. It's either a 30-minute boat or it's a 3-hour boat, depending on the weather.
Okay, I was like, those are very different times.
And one's really close, and if they can't get in there because the boat's broken or like there's too much sand in there, we have to go to the other one. On the 3-hour trip, it's always rough, and I get really seasick, so I'm going to give this a try next time, and I will report back next time I have to take a 3-hour boat trip, and I will try the earplug thing, and I will see if it works, and if I come back and say it doesn't work, then fuck this show.
Even if it helps a little bit, it helps to that degree that I'm like, it's just magic in the show, where she like puts it in her ear, sits down, and then is like, oh, I'm fine. Like in seconds, and I'm like,
if this doesn't happen in seconds, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna further fuel to the fire.
Right? Fucking. But then we find out, as predicted, monsoon season is coming very rapidly, and there's a monsoon behind them. And oh, guess what?
Of course.
Foreshadowing. They're gonna get caught in a monsoon.
Of course, and they get caught in the monsoon's catching up with them, and the shit goes south. No one seems to be like pegged onto the goddamn ship properly because everyone's sliding all over the goddamn place.
All over the place. They they run onto a reef and get stuck.
Of course they do.
Oh no, they're stuck now, everybody, and oh, it's terrible. And Smith's like, I can help. I don't know what you're thinking about, because you're already stuck.
Like, I could see the rocks through my tiny window because of the crosswater, and I told them to stop, but nobody listened to me. I'm like, great. She's establishing herself as a sailor, which clearly means she's going to be piloting this stupid boat at some point.
Mm-hmm. Dawn. So they get off the rocks by using the pop-outs, the RV extenders.
Yep.
And then they start sailing again, and Dawn's like, "Oh no, the carbon monoxide thing is leaking, or no, there's a leak on it, and it's trying to short it out, and I'm trying to save it." And he's named it Carla, I think.
Cedar?
Cedar, is that what it... Because at one point he's talking to
I think it's Cedar.
Yeah, and then he looks over at the chicken, and he's like, "Can you believe this, Debbie?" And he's like, "I'm talking to a chicken and a machine. What's wrong with me?" Like, he just has that...
See, Don is the only thing in this entire show I can deal with right now, because he's like, every one of us have been dropped in this situation like, what the fuck am I in? He's the only guy who seems to realize he's in a farce.
He really does.
Right, so he goes off and does his thing and tries to fix the ship, and more shenanigans ensue on the top deck, and Will goes flying off because nobody's clipped in properly, and the dad dives over the side of the ship, grabs the shitty rope that clearly wasn't attached properly in the first place, and severely injures himself.
Yeah, you know, he breaks his suit, so he's like breathing in methane.
Ah, yes.
And he and Will are then told to go down, like they're put in the med bay basically, and the dad keeps trying to get up, and like, your lungs have been burned by methane, dumbass, sit still.
Everyone into the med bay, and everyone's in the med bay, and they're screaming, and they're like, "Mom, Mom, Mom, Mom,
Where
Mom!"
is monsoon?
And Mom's like, "I don't know what to do. I will use the only person I hate more than anything in this world to save us conveniently."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Smith climbs out on the deck in her suit, and she's a great sailor, and they're headed right for those jagged rocks that we all knew they were going to head for because they mentioned them once.
Yep.
And Smith's like, "We have to go through them," and they're like, "What?" And she's like, "Do it!" So they start sailing rapidly towards the rocks with the sails
naturally,
furled or whatever. And then they have to... I'm just gonna skip past this part because it's dumb. There's a little gap in the rocks that she's like, "We're just gonna Tokyo drift our way through there. We need to tip the ship." So then Will gets in the chariot because, again, everything's foreshadowing. And he
because the dad's like, "Oh no, I'm dying and I can't make it to the chariot. You have to do it alone, son," rather than them doing it together and furthering their father-son bond thing. No.
No. There's no such thing as father-son bond.
He has to do it alone.
Right now.
No, because it's all set up for this one moment.
Mm-hmm. So Will crashes the chariot into the side of the ship, and it tips up, and then they get through the rocks, and they're like, "Yay!" And then it all goes back to smooth sailing.
Yes,
for a little bit.
Beyond those rocks, clearly the weather just changes, and it's just so much easier after that, and nobody has to be worried. Anyway, so they end up making their way back downstairs, and like the sisters are hugging, like, "I couldn't have done it without you, and you're amazing." And oh, jeez.
And this is where the second Hallmark commercial line comes in, because after they get to the rocks, Smith yells, "That's the power of teamwork!"
Oh yeah. We laughed so hard at that. I missed all the ensuing dialogue.
Oh my god! I was like, "No, stop it!"
I laughed so hard at that comment.
That was a rough one. But yeah, they all go back downstairs, and they're all like hugging and stuff. And then Smith comes downstairs, and she's like, "I've secured the deck. It's all fine. We're gonna keep sailing." And then there's a scene of them like getting out of their gear and like swapping out. And the dad's now he's fine. By the way, apparently he healed.
Yeah, he's totally fine now.
His methane burned lungs healed very quickly. But he goes back on the deck, and Smith's hands are burned, and she's like, "I know what you're thinking. Where did I get those burns? Could maybe the breach that caused us to do this have been my fault? And I broke out, and I've been running around the ship secretly." And you can't keep me locked up anyway. No point locking me back up. And I'm like, just push her into the deadly water and walk off.
Yeah, because she literally says, if you fuck us one more time, I will make sure you can't. Like, this is the perfect reason, because as the father explained, it's dumb doing what they're dumb. It's super dumb. They're probably going to die. So don't do it. And Mum was like, okay, I agree with your parenting style. I understand and validate your feelings. Let's do this. And then Smith does this. But the question is, did Smith actually do this? Because we didn't see her with burnt hands.
I mean, her hands are all burned from that clearly
yeah,
came
but
from
the very next shot we have of her hands aren't burnt.
That's true, because they put on makeup in one scene and then forgot about the next scene.
Yeah, so my theory being is that she just took her hands out of the gloves when she was upstairs on the ship and put it back on again. Like, I guess that's the master of Dr. Smith, or whatever her real name is. It's like, did she do it? Did she not do it? Is she just capitalizing? Because that is exactly the sort of thing she did.
It really is.
God, I hate this episode.
And then, they're like, well, we're going to get there. Don't even worry about it. And then we cut to Dr. Smith running around, and she looks at the flight controls of the Jupiter. And she's like, and then it flashes back to her sitting in her quarters with the flight manual for the Jupiter, which I only bring up because Don was looking for it previously, and he's like, have you seen the flight manual?
I missed that foreshadowing.
And I was like,
probably writing the word foreshadowing at some point.
And she's been plotting to steal the Jupiter because for some reason they won't just fucking kill Dr. Smith. Whatever.
Because she's their crutch for writing. Like,
they could have better writing. I'll get into it in a minute.
We'll stop this.
But Will sits down and talks to his toy robot, and he's like telling the story about what happened. And he's like, I know everyone thinks I miss you because you help us out, but really I miss you because we're friends. Because we do okay on our own. And I'm like, that is a fucking lie. You do awful on your own. You people are fucking... I'm surprised you survived 7 months. You're all idiots.
Yes. And also he made his friend walk off a cliff and then let his friend sacrifice himself. Yeah, like those aren't good qualities in a friend. I think if my friend told me to walk off a cliff, greater good, I might punch that friend in the face and throw them off the cliff for the greater good of me. Maybe I am the evil person in this.
This might be a you thing.
This might be a me problem.
God, so they sail on a little bit more because we're almost at the end of the episode, and they keep sailing. And where the lightning storm, they're almost at the lightning storm when they suddenly realize, oh my God, that's a waterfall. There's a big hole in the ocean, and they're about to go over the edge, and everyone like buckles up, and then the Jupiter hits a rock and stays right next to the thing.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God, we're safe. And they go and look down over the edge, and they're like, that's too straight to be natural. Someone built this. And I'm like, well, y'all are fucking stupid, because I could have told you that from the tiny glance I got, and I didn't have to say, that's too straight to be natural. But then it zooms out, and there's this big line through the ocean that has these, like, pillars in it, and, like, something on the bottom. Like, it's alien-made, obviously.
It's alien-made. It's clearly the boundary. It's clearly where all the lightning shit is. Like, these are conductors, clearly.
Yes.
But I laughed really hard because, like, there's a waterfall in the ocean. Are you sure?
That one made me laugh. I was like, oh, okay.
Are you sure this is a thing? Are they just on a really big lake and nobody told them? Are you sure?
I mean, it could be. But also, they're like, someone built this. And I'm like, yeah, the robot was, like, obsessed that this place was dangerous. And the robot clearly came from somewhere. The robot was probably built here.
So there's one bit in here which I don't know how or when we missed it, but there's a bit where they're fucked at one point the entire episode, and Will's looking out the window. Yeah, Will looks out the window and he sees like the blue lights, the blue orbs of his robot friend, and it turns out to be more seaweed. I'm like, yep, I knew that. that setup earlier was literally just for this. Great.
Oh, definitely. And then the last scene, because it fades to black there, and I was like, cool, we're done for this episode. But then it comes back up, and there's a cave wall, and the camera pans along it, and then you see like the handprints of the kids, and then it keeps going, and then you see the robot hand drawing something. You can't really see what it is because the robot arm is ridiculously fat. But it goes past it, and then the hand moves, and it's drawn the Jupiter with the sails on it, which means the robot's alive.
It means the robot is still in contact with that fucking kid.
I'm gonna guess the robot is probably... Yeah, we're gonna find out in some way. Oh, we also forgot at some point. I forgot to say, at some point, Will's talking to his mom, and he says he doesn't want to leave without the robot. And the mom's like, yeah, but you don't know where the robot is. It's not like he left a map. And the kid's like, maybe he did. Maybe it's just out there and we can't see it. I'm like, that robot fell off the airlock before you went through crazy wormhole space? That robot ain't with you, dum-dum.
No, that robot is nowhere near. Like,
it was falling towards a sun and a black hole and a planet. Gravity's gonna win that one.
I don't care how big and buff and strong that is. It does not win versus physics. But this is futures physics, magic physics, so maybe it doesn't count.
Maybe it doesn't count. You're right. Maybe it
and
doesn't count.
I was happy when the credits came up because I thought this episode had ended 4 minutes before.
So, I mean, okay, here's my thing. I've been, like I said, I'm trying to okay, a lot of what they deal with is hand waving, and I'm like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem with the show is it's still a writing issue, and that writing issue is the fact that they're just like, well, if somebody learned the term Chekhov's gun and has not put it down since. Literally everything that comes on screen in the first 15 minutes comes back in the last 15 minutes, which means it's not interesting, it's just predictable. Because you see this moss that looks like the robot friend dude's face. Oh, you see Will driving the chariot. Oh, you see like every single thing becomes a back half. So it's not like, maybe that's foreshadowing. It's all foreshadowing. So it's just all predictable and it's not interesting. It's not that like, oh, I missed that little thing that was foreshadowing. Because this isn't foreshadowing. Foreshadowing isn't, Valanda, I'm going to go in the other room and I'm going to get a Coke. And then I come back with a Coke and you're like, oh my God, like I said I was going to do it. Like, that's not foreshadowing.
Like, I have a Coke downstairs and I come back with a Coke. Like, holy shit.
Whoa.
No, like,
where did you get that?
The whole thing literally felt like my first Netflix show.
Yeah.
And it really did. It was the comment we made when I was watching it was it feels like a 90s kids TV show where all the heavy like things that are going to turn up mysteriously in the end and like where did they get this, they pulled it out of the first 15. It's exactly how this show feels. It was all just like that shitty writing. The interactions weren't great in many places. I feel like the acting may have improved minorly, but not a whole lot. It just because maybe the kids are getting older, who knows. It's very minorly improved, but the writing is not there for this episode. Like as a comeback episode, I mean, to be fair, I would have turned this show off 4 episodes ago. I think I would have been done by episode 2. Let's be honest. I think I was done by then. Like
I mean,
this is not a good return episode.
No, you're not wrong. It really wasn't. And now the thing is, I never super watched the old show. I think I saw it one time when I was a little kid, like very little. So this may be somebody being like, well, this is how the old show was written, and it's like an homage. But it's like we can do better. Old shows were written very badly. Like, and that's not an insult to anyone. They're just not written well. They're written in this very, very structured, basic way, and it's like, well, that's fine, but we don't do that anymore. So your homage is just trash.
Yeah, like you can take their old formula and go.
I missed a great moment. I should have said your homage is garbage.
Oh well, you did it now. You can get an edit. Good job.
I'll edit it. Don't worry.
You get an edit. Like you can still homage the old show by looking at their themes and their ideas and some of their plot points and the things that kicked off really well. But you don't have to pick up their script and change a few words and just put it on Netflix. Like that's not good writing. It's very lazy. And from what I've have experience of Netflix shows, Netflix tend to be really good in their original shows, and this is really bad.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's like, come on, like we have better techniques and ideas and ways of working in thing. Like if the plot writing was better, the cool little things like the lighting changes between inside and outside, the set design, the fact that their costume designs are kind of like, this is to show that this person is an outsider and this is not, like, they would be forgivable because the writing would, it would be an enhancement to the writing rather than a direct in your face thing. But they don't do it, so I can't forgive them.
Yeah, and it's also kind of sad because there are other Netflix shows that are super well written, and I mean, there's other shows that are on streaming platforms that are very well written, and this one feels like I wish I could talk to the writers and be like, "Yo, what are y'all thinking?" Because this is written real. I mean, and now are you writing it for kids? And in that case, okay, I'll forgive a lot more of what you've done. But if you're writing it for, like, let's say, you know, more of like a general audience, then your writing is absolutely atrocious. Like, this is not good writing.
Yeah, if this is aimed at kids, great,
because it has the structure of like a Dora episode.
Yeah, and if it's aimed for nostalgia, cool. But you don't need to keep the writing, because everyone knows nostalgia is kind of rubbish and you should improve, not just repeat. No one wants to watch a rerun. Well, people do, but that's why you download them or DVD them. I don't know what you do these days.
You can get the original Lost in Space. I think it's on one of the streaming services, not like Netflix or Hulu. I think you can buy it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, and if it's aimed at everyone else, like the sci-fi nerds that they're trying to bring in, there's no sci-fi in this. Come on, like literally 2 or 3 lines, and this would have been sci-fi. This was nothing. There was nothing in it. It's like, let's go on a very bad premise of let's get electrocuted by lightning. It's very bad.
Oh, that reminds me. There's a moment during the lightning storm where the mom's like, if you have clouds and a sun to heat them up, you'll have lightning. And I'm like, I don't know if that's how lightning works, but I don't know enough about lightning to dispute that fact.
Ironically, this being shot in Iceland,
like, I know you can have heat lightning. I know that.
Yeah, so being shot in Iceland, and the idea like, oh, if you have heat, or if you have like the sun or 2 suns and clouds, you will always get you will inevitably get lightning. It being shot in Iceland, they don't get lightning. There is no lightning here. It's not a thing. Native born for 30 odd plus years, and his mum 60 plus years. They've maybe seen it twice, 2-3 times. Like, it's just not a thing here. So that's utter bullshit.
Yeah, I think that was a line I was like, I don't know enough about lightning to argue with you, but I feel like that's just not how that works.
It might be how it works, but it may have to be a very specific set of heat.
It could be.
And that planet would not have gotten it. If it's cold methane, there's no way that planet would be hot enough to create lightning. And if it's hot methane, surely it would just ignite the methane.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's methane and lightning goes off, and, lightning is several fucking billion watts or whatever, and very hot. We all know lightning's very hot because we've seen it set things on fire. Wouldn't it just immediately ignite that entire planet?
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends if methane can be set on fire without oxygen, and if there's much oxygen in the atmosphere.
That's a good point. No, I think it could. I think it can, because I'm pretty sure it is flammable on its own and it doesn't need the oxygen combination.
Well, that's something I'm going to Google as soon as we finish.
We'll find that out. I mean, I guess in the end, it doesn't 100% matter, because this show is very much just fi with some very, very light sigh.
There's lip service.
Yes,
like,
this is,
and the lip service is the 3 letters called sigh.
Yes,
and that's it.
This is very much Robin, or the Swiss Family Robinson in space, but it's like, you could add a little more space facts,
Yeah.
Like, you could put something in there, and maybe just, I would like some through line and some logic. Is the ship too heavy to float? Cool, don't make it float. Is the ship light enough to float? Cool, it can float all you want. I don't care. But some sort of through line in your logic, not just like, well, don't do 1940s Superman, okay? Like, don't be like, yes, a new villain shows up. Turns out Superman had a power that defeats him instantly all along and has never used it. Like, why? Why is this a thing? Well, that's all I have to say about this.
Uh, this fucking show, man. This
So,
fucking
hey,
show.
Rolanda,
Yeah.
I have to ask you,
Uh-huh.
what are you going to rate the show?
I think I'm gonna rate it a solid 1.
One robot, you say?
No, I think no. I think I've changed my mind. I'm gonna rate it 2 pieces of robot out of a 6-piece robot. It's just the 2 arms. They have some vague idea, and if you look at it, you can think maybe this is sci-fi, and then you look a bit deeper and realize it has no substance. It's got no legs on it. Clearly, no thought process has been going on. It's literally like there's a robotic hand that has been pieced together all of these things, and something has been made out the end of it. It's not smart. It's not clever. It doesn't need heart or substance, and it's not going anywhere. So it's going to be 2 robot arms out of a 6-piece robot. What about you, Drew?
I'm going to be a little nicer. I'm going to say 3 pieces of robot. And I say that, and my only thing is, I can see why people are enjoying the show. This season feels like it might be a little bit better than last season, because it really does feel like they probably have their legs under them a little bit more. But it's never going to reach a 5, because if all their writing is going to be the same format of like a kids cartoon, it's never going to be more than like, eh. At best, it's going to be, yeah, I'll watch it, fine. Like,
We're watching it. Okay, we're watching it because we feel like we need to do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, we
not
chose...
because we want to.
That's true, but if they are okay, it's one of those shows where someone's like, "Do you want to watch this?" And I'd be like, "All right, fine, whatever." Like, I'm not gonna choose it, but if someone else wanted to watch it, like, okay. But yeah, just there's not enough substance. There's like so little there. They're on the edge of where they might be able to do something that would be like, okay, that was really engaging. But they really need to learn that foreshadowing does not mean you just say things and then do it immediately, because that's just following a plot.
Yeah, for me, it literally the moment that got me the most angry was the I was impressed with the communication between the parents. Like, yeah, that was hopefully they don't bring back them falling apart again, because it's just season 1 again. Like, let's see them working together as a parental romantic unit. Like, let's deal with that. And then I hadn't even finished writing the words foreshadowing, however, when the foreshadowing event happened, and I was so angry. I was literally just screaming at the screen of like, no fucking way. I called it and I haven't finished writing. I was so mad.
Oh, and then we didn't talk about it, but there is foreshadowing in the first time you see Dr. Smith, because Dr. Smith tells a story about during World War II. There was a time when the Germans and the Allied forces stopped fighting and came out to celebrate Christmas together. And then I was like, she's going to get out of that stupid cell and fucking help them. Oh, look, she did.
And they need to leave her behind. Like, they need to cut the dead weight before it kills them.
They do. Also, for people who've been living on a planet, this is my last thought. People living on a planet for 7 months whose only source of food are vegetables, and not even that many. Like, because that greenhouse, while it was large, didn't actually have that much in it.
That wouldn't have supported that many adults.
No, there were a lot of adults, and not one of those people looked like they had lost any amount of weight. And, like, I don't think you could get enough calories for all of these adults out of this tiny greenhouse.
True. Yeah, I think that's right. Especially a growing kid. Like, come on. No, I think you're solid right on there. Like,
Will's never going to get taller than he is right now if they don't give him some real food. Well, you're really short. Yeah, I lived in space most of my life, so this is all I have.
I guess, like, the gravity would affect them differently, too.
Oh my god.
Because they're on a different planet. The gravity has to be different, which means it has to affect his bone structure differently, especially compared to everyone else, because he's still growing.
No, every planet has Earth gravity. It may have methane for air, but it's got Earth gravity. Jesus.
Fair. Oh, blimey. Now, I normally feel like we do something at some point, and I don't remember.
We do. So long. Would you recommend this show?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, would you recommend? Would you keep watching? And how you rate the series so far And the series
Yeah.
is the first, the middle, and the last. So I
Yeah.
guess we should do those.
Yeah.
Would you recommend this show?
No fucking way.
All
Not
right.
even if you were tripping balls would I recommend this show.
All right.
I wouldn't even put it on a soapbox in the background while I'm doing something else. It just does not deserve my attention. I mean, that's what I did the first time I watched Lost in Space up to episode 4 or 5, whatever it was, and I thought it was good, and then I realized it's not by actually watching it. What about you, Drew? Would you recommend this to anyone?
Somebody looking for a very, very light sci-fi show, maybe, because it is very, very, very light. I would not watch this. Like, I would get very bored. But if somebody was just like, I want a very, very light sci-fi show, like family drama, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Hard, maybe you might like it, but.
Would you keep watching series 2 based on the series 2 opening episode?
No, not even for a minute. Like, because they fell into the exact same problems of like their writing, and that's what bothered me the most in the first season.
Oh yeah.
How about you? Would you keep watching it based on this if you just turned it on?
Absolutely not. only if I had put it on, walked away in disgust, and Netflix auto played episode 2.
Playing it.
Yep, against my whim.
All right. How would you rate season 2 overall so far? I read it's the first episode, but what do you think?
I think it has the possibility of maybe gaining the other 4 pieces of the robot, but I don't think so.
All right.
So I'm gonna stick at 2 arms and maybe have the possibility of like I might buy glue to put the other pieces of the robot together, but it wouldn't be on my to-do list. What about you?
Fair. Oh, you know what? For the overall series, I'm gonna say 2, because writing is so important, and I'm gonna put the caveat that maybe, just maybe, because I'm sitting there taking notes, I'm not buying into the show.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case, because I'm not taking like super detailed notes. I'm just like scribbling down an idea or two as something happens. And I'm not sitting there like analyzing the scenes. So I don't think it's that, because Sabrina, I took notes the first time I watched the first couple of episodes, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't until I had binged the whole season and then went back and kept watching and taking notes that my problems started to show up.
Yeah, actually, I had exactly the same with Sabrina. With Sabrina, like the first watch, I loved it. The second watch, I hated it.
Yeah, and I don't think it was the note taking, because again, my note taking process, it's not in depth. It's not like I'm stopping the episode to write down a thought.
God, no.
Sabrina had something to buy in on, and I don't feel like Lost in Space has that. Like, there's not enough purchase to pick up and be like, yes, I want this thing. I want to keep seeing this.
Yeah, like I'm vaguely looking forward to watching season 2 of Sabrina, because I think they have more potential and promise, because their writing staff aren't actually really bad.
No, they're not.
Yeah. But we will be back next week with episode 2 of season 2.
We are. We're gonna get through season 2 of Lost in Space, and then we'll move on to something else. And I know exactly what we should do for the movie at the end of this, by the way, Valanda, which I'll tell you off air.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this then.
But thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll be back.
We appreciate it.
Next Sunday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time to tell you about episode 2 and how we probably hated it.
We are probably gonna hate it.
Probably.
I want you all to know I tried to go in with an open mind, but I just couldn't. It just wouldn't work for me. I guess we better do our normal outro-y things then. Where can we find you, man?
Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram sometimes. I don't really post much there, or Twitter for that matter. I'm very bad at social media. But cyber_Sasquatch. You can also find me on the podcast Taking Initiative, where I'm currently playing a very fast cat monk who goes very, very fast. And you can also find me on the Corpses and Curios channel, where I show up as a fish person at one point and also play Edgelord, a lovable masks boy. in their
Wow.
Halcyon by
Multiple
Night.
characters on a show.
I'm
Suspect that.
everywhere. I'm the equivalent of 90s comedy where one person plays everyone in the show.
Yes. All written by one person. I mean.
How about you? Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at volley_Lunda, where I'm still doing things occasionally. You can find me DMing the Lucky Die podcast. You can find me on the Dark Dice podcast. You can find me on the White Vault, which the finale comes out in 3 weeks' time and is super rad, and you all should go check that out. And yeah, I think that's mostly all the things I can talk about right now.
I think that's all you can talk about.
Well, yeah, that's all I can talk about right now.
All right, that's fair. This was fancy, and
this was fun. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining me again, Rolanda, and we'll see all of you next week. Bye.
Bye.